What's a fact that sounds fake, but is actually legit? Saddam Hussein was given the key to the city of Detroit in 1980. Other people given this honor: Stevie Wonder, Jerome Bettis, Steve Easerman, Elmo, Big Sean and the Jackson 5. I don't even know how I feel about all that. Komodo dragons can reproduce sexually. I actually learned about this in my biology class last week. The professor asked us to give differences between plants and animals, and I said that animals reproduce exclusively through sexual reproduction. They pointed out that Komodo dragons, and some species of lizard that is 100% female, make that incorrect. Oh, and some jellyfish reproduce through budding. Okay, so I just asked the Tay and he said the difference is that animals arise from embryonic tissues and plants get their carbon sources from the ground air. Having 6 fingers is actually a dominant trait, but the genes for it are so incredibly rare that pretty much no one has it. My father was slaughtered by a 6-fingered man. The state of Maine has more black bears than black people. Pluto has not gone halfway around the sun since its discovery. Didn't even get to do a half revolution. From being found, to being a planet, to no longer being a planet. What a crazy year for Pluto. A ton of people is only about 11 people. Or just your mother. There have been over 2,000 nuclear bomb detonations. John Tyler, born 1790, has 2 living grandchildren as of 2017. Not great grandchildren, just regular grandkids. I think he was in his 80s when he had a son, and his son was also pretty old when he had these 2. America is 3 people old. For the less informed folks out there, that's US President John Tyler, the 10th President of the United States. There are 2 living people who are direct grandchildren of the 10th President of the United States. Their father was born before the American Civil War started. Their grandfather was born less than 10 years after the end of the American Revolution, before the invention of the steam locomotive. The best thing for you to do if you're stung by a tarantula hawk wasp is to lie down and scream. Excuse me, or what? It's a wasp that is a hawk for. It hunts tarantulas. Tarantula hawk wasp. Pretty sure it means it sells tarantulas. Fungi are actually more closely related to animals than plants. They breathe in oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. Big deal, I can do that in my sleep. Pineapples take about 2 years to grow. Also, Dole has genetically modified a pineapple to grow to about 25% of a regular pineapple. Just the perfect size to fit in the can. HD video has been around for over 20 years, only became popular with consumers in the past 5 out of 10 years. There is a point in the Pacific Ocean named Point Nemo, which is the furthest point from land. In fact, it is so far from land, the nearest humans are often astronauts in the International Space Station when it passes overhead. The ISS orbits the Earth at a maximum of 416 kilometers, while the nearest inhabited landmass to Point Nemo is over 2,700 kilometers away. Also, that's where Cthulhu is imprisoned. I'm pretty sure it's where Gorilla's headquarters was located at one point. It was called Plastic Beach. That Netflix was founded a year before Google. Google was actually something of a latecomer. The first generation of internet companies made people rich, then crashed before very many people even knew what Google was. I think most current internet users don't appreciate just how incredibly bad search was on the internet pre-Google. PageRank changed everything. Come on. It was great. We had that hideous old Yahoo portal, not to be confused with the current hideous Yahoo portal, Ask Jeeves, and Alta Vista. The entire state of Wyoming only has 2 escalators. Doesn't it only have 1 area code too? Yep. A few of my less interesting neighbors have 307 bumper stickers too. Are you even from Wyoming if you don't have a 307 or Steamboat tattoo? If I was a Wyomingan, this thread would leave me feeling just so attacked. Wyomingite. And they're always funny to me. The most fatal surgery in history had a 300% mortality rate. How and why? Victim 1, the patient, died from infection. Victim 2, the surgical assistant, got stabbed, died from infection. Victim 3, a bystander, Got slashed and died from terror, thinking that an organ had been punctured. I feel like dying as a response to the fear of dying is the dumbest thing the human body could do. Oh this wound is going to kill me. Better make sure it can't by dying on my own first. Scale wise, a speck of dust is halfway between a subatomic particle and the earth. Your finger can feel microscopic things. So my wife is lying then. Goddamn. The Amazon forest is fertilized by the Sahara. The 15-20 largest container ships in the world create more pollution than all of the cars in the world. Container ships and cruise liners use some of the nastiest fuel available anywhere. More Vietnam vets killed themselves than died in the war. Same with Iraq war veterans. Harvard University is over 100 years older than the United States. My high school was founded in 1660. It's also the reason why Yale was founded, because none of the graduates had anywhere to go. Canada has a smaller population than California. Toronto, Montreal and Vancouver cover 1/3 of the population in Canada. A polar bear's liver contains enough vitamin A to kill a human if eaten. You don't even have to eat all of it, just a few ounces. That's why the custom is if you kill a polar bear you must throw a party, to ensure you don't die from eating too much delicious polar bear liver pate. Nintendo was founded in 1889. There are more libraries in the US than McDonald's. I've never seen a library in a McDonald's. I think you might be onto something. The longest domestic flight in the world is in France, Paris to Réunion, until April of next year. Then it'll be overtaken by flights between Boston and Honolulu. The Giza pyramids were built when mammoths still roamed the earth. By the time Queen Cleopatra took the throne, the Great Pyramids were already ancient, crumbling ruins. We live closer to the time of Cleopatra than she lived to the building of the Great Pyramids. That blows my mind. We actually live closer in time to the Tyrannosaurus Rex than the Tyrannosaurus did to the Stegosaurus. This really isn't our planet. If you have $10 in your pocket and no debts, you have more wealth than 25% of Americans. I was so ready to count myself lucky until I remembered my student debt. The entire Captain Planet cartoon was an all-star cast. It had Whoopi Goldberg, Jeff Goldblum, Tim Curry, Meg Ryan. You can't choke an owl. That sounds like a challenge. The 4 largest US cities, by area, are in Alaska. There was no grass in dinosaur times. It just seems so strange, because it's so ubiquitous today. There wasn't? What used to be on the soil then? There were plenty of ferns. The dinosaurs. At its furthest away point, you can fit every planet in our solar system between Earth and the moon. I think it's just barely, though. Right? Almost enough space left to fit OP's mom. Be nice, she's been dieting. Water is a bad conductor of electricity. Pure water absolutely is an insulator. Water is also really good at containing things that are good conductors of electricity. Therefore most water, non-pure water, is a good conductor of electricity. I had a chem teacher show this off. It blew our 6th grade minds. She took a beaker of pure H20 and had this setup of a light bulb and had it plugged in. The wire ran down this plastic piece and then broke and then led back up to another wire to the light bulb. She said I can't touch both contacts, because I would die. Duh. But if I take this water, and she then submerged the plastic piece and the connection into the beaker of water. And nothing happened. She even stuck her finger in the water. Then she took a beaker with tap water and the light bulb shined. We were just shocked. So pure water is a conductor. The world's largest desert isn't the Sahara. It's the entire continent of Antarctica. Deserts aren't measured by grains of sand or amount of camels, it's all about precipitation, and Antarctica takes the cake. The roughly 5.5 million square mile continent only gets about 8 inches of rain a year. Googleplex is such an absurdity huge number that if you wanted to try and write it out you'd need a tool that could imprint on subatomic particles. Also there aren't enough subatomic particles in the universe to even write the number. A Googleplex has nothing on Graham's number. which would cause your head to collapse into a black hole if you knew it in its entirety. Or tree 3, which is larger than Graham's number 2. If each digit fit into a 1 Planck space, smallest measurable space in the universe would still be too small to contain it. It's not even close. If you had a Googleplex universes, you still couldn't even store the number of digits in Grahams. All this math sounds like somebody made a comics about super numbers.